Well, this was last minute. Holy moly, there's a ton of news going on. I gotta give a second for everyone to filter in, because there's never been a more unplanned stream on this channel than right now. I am not sure anyone's gonna find this. I might spend my entire afternoon, my entire evening talking to literally zero viewers. But I figure if I'm gonna go over this stuff anyway and check it out, I might as well go live and see what the heck is going on with all of the news coming out of Magic the Gathering Las Vegas. This is a wild set of announcements. I'm really excited to get into it. And let's just pose the question now. Is Standard like back? Is Standard like all the way back? Like, is it just coming back and never going away again? I don't know. It's gonna be a rough one. Blaze, what is up? If you are here in chat, if you are popping in, this is a last minute stream. I don't expect many people to find it. Who knows? But hey, if you do find this stream, do me a favor. If you find this stream, go on a social media forum or platform or anywhere where you see there's Magic the Gathering groups that like conversations like this, and share this stream. I want to see if we can get a last minute stream to pop off a bit, and I'm gonna use my straw like I'm an instructor this evening. Nah. What is up, Blaze? What's going on? Ralph, the Gnome channel member, showing up for the stream. What's going on, Ralph? Hello, and good evening to each and every one of you. There's a ton of spoilers going on. Let me know as we do a volume check as we start every single stream. And this is a special one. If you guys are here, and you normally know, it's Friday morning magic. We do Friday morning live streams every Friday morning at 8 a.m. This is a special occasion, and normally we have some coffee, we talk Magic the Gathering, and it's a good time. But today we're going to break it up. We're shaking it up a little bit. It's a little late, so we're going to have a beer. I know. Most of the time this is very family-friendly content. However, it is literally a Saturday night. I have my daughter, the baby, beautiful princess, is asleep. Shh, so nobody wake her up. I swear, none of you better wake her up. And we are going to talk all of the news coming out of Magic the Gathering Las Vegas. We got a ton of stuff to get into today. Let's preview a bit of what we're going to talk about. As you see here, we've got spoilers. That's right, Lost Caverns of Ixalan. We've got Jurassic Park spoilers. We've got Lord of the Rings news and stuff to talk about. It's going to be a lot of fun. Like, listen, I didn't think I was going to be able to bring the energy when I decided to do this, but man, oh man, you guys know me. It's going to be a wild time. Rob, good morning. Surprise stream. Yes, Rob, welcome to the stream. For those who can't make the Friday morning live stream, maybe the Saturday night live stream is the better option. And listen, we expect this one to be much smaller. But again, like we said, let's share this video. Let's see if we can't blow this stream up. Let's see if we can't, get over that 10 viewer mark and what it looks like after that. Because frankly, I didn't expect a single one of you to tune in. So thank you so much again. You got the poll. You got the link up at the top. Blaze saying the lands look pretty nice. Well, Blaze, let's not waste any time. Let's get into it if we shall. Let's see the results of the poll. The result of the poll said, yeah, 2 votes saying we can get a like. Let's go. I got another poll for you guys. And as we get to talking about this, I want to know, is Jurassic Park a good way to use Universes Beyond? Because I love the Dr. Ian Malcolm card already, and I think it's time to get into it. Let's talk about some spoilers. Right at the top here, this is courtesy of MTG Goldfish. I think they pretty much put all of the stuff that we learned this weekend in one convenient location. We have some sweet spoilers, so let's talk about Lost Caverns of Ixalan, and I'm going to start with the lands. We're starting at the mana, and my, oh my, holy moly, these lands look incredible. I cannot lie to you guys. I did not expect these lands to look as good as we did. Let's be fair. In a moment of fairness, we knew we were going to get new special lands. We did not expect them to be this pretty. These lands evoke emotion within me, and I know full art lands are not special anymore. I understand that. Listen, I get it. However, these look really good. I love just the theme, the depth that seems to come with the card, and for the first time that I can remember, And the first time in a long time that I can remember, I'm excited about a full art forest. I'm excited about a special edition forest. It's been a minute since I've been excited about a forest. So let me know what you guys think about these lands. But I gotta tell you, these evoke emotions, kind of like the Kamigawa lands do. I'm pretty big on these ones. The Goldblum Commander Chaos deck for the win. We're gonna get into the Goldblum stuff. Don't spoil it yet. Oh man, I'm excited to get into that. We're gonna talk about the Goldblum stuff here in a little bit. Cavern of Souls. Now it's important to note this is gonna be important for later in the video. So let's talk about it now. This symbol right here on the lower right hand side of the card. This is the lost, or not in the middle right side of the card where the set symbol normally is. This is the Lost Caverns of Ixalan symbol. This is just the symbol for Lost Caverns. This isn't the commander byproduct. This isn't some crazy subset. This isn't the serialized print runner. No, this is just the set. And what do we see here right off the bat? We see a freaking Cavern of Souls. There's a Cavern of Souls coming in Lost Caverns of Ixalan. I know that it makes sense now that you said it out loud, but this was on nobody's bingo card. So Cavern of Souls hitting here, and this has a little bit more meaning. I want to talk about the meaning this has just really quick. Cavern of Souls, for those who don't know, and obviously we might know, but it's enter the battlefield, choose a creature type, add 1 mana of any color, spend it only to cast a creature of the chosen type, and it cannot be countered. Well, this leans into that standard design principle that they were just discussing about the whole, we want to make standard less of a mid-range good stuff pile, and we want to make it feel more like you're building typal or tribal decks or whatever they're called now. You're building decks that are in lanes and fit the design principles of the sets that you're playing. Cavern of Souls fits that design principle. I know it's an extremely powerful card, but it doesn't lean very well into mid-range good stuff strategies, right? So it does pull us out of that a bit. That being said, it's a massively powerful card, and you love to see it here in the standard print run. There's going to be, oh man, I cannot wait for the outcry of the reprint. Oh, this card is being reprinted, it's worthless now. Like, listen, cards have to be worth money. I get it, and they should be. But I don't know if it's worth complaining about this one. Let's keep going on. We do have one of my favorite things that we do on every release is we preview the commander cards right away. And we just slap them at the top, and I do want to talk about T-Rex arm. Like, we have to talk about T-Rex arm. Let's see. Open image. Can we just get T-Rex arm pulled up here? Oh no. Okay. Well. Alright, well, we can't get T-Rex arm pulled up, but this is one of the spoiler cards from this set where the god, the big bad of Ixalan, has like a Tyrannosaurus for a freaking arm. And listen, as far as theme goes, there's no chance that I can push back on that. So you'll love to see it here. Let's do a little flipperoonie. And this is kind of the theme or the art style or what we're seeing from the backside of some of these cards. If you're in chat, I see the viewer count. We hit double digits. Let's go for 20. Share this stream. And if you're in chat and you just got here, let me know. The impromptu stream, if you're getting here, then make sure you let me know. Channel member Ralph the Gnome says use Mythic Spoiler. We'll check that out in 1 second. I want to go through this, then we'll pop over to Mythic Spoiler and we'll pull up the full arts. But we are seeing the backside of some of these cards, some of the spoilers coming up, really featuring this art style. And I do like this art style in a Magic the Gathering card. Like, there are things about this art that make me just feel happy when you look at it, if I'm being completely honest with you. So I like that art. We're seeing a lot of good stuff. Let's go Breaches, Eager, Pillager. First strike, when a pirate you control attacks, Pirate Tribal's back, baby. It was never gone. It was always going to be here. Pirate Tribal for the win. Choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Create a treasure. Target creature can't block and exile the top card of your library. You can play it right on theme. And then the Skull Spore, Nexus. Like, some of this art is just super cool. But we're burying the lead a little bit here. I'll be fair. Hold on. First and foremost, cheers to all of you out there for tuning in on a random Saturday night stream. But I'll be fair here. We're burying the lead a little bit. The regular Ixalan cards, they're neat. The alt art treatments, they're fine. They're cool. They're whatever. Oh, like Scruffy, it's fine to be wrong. Like Scruffy, being wrong is totally okay. But this is the major... Oh, I thought we were further down on this. We're going to skip ahead. This is the major takeaway. The big reveal. The holy crap moment. We are getting a Mana Crypt reprint. That's right. we're getting a freaking Mana Crypt reprint from Lost Caverns of Ixalan. Special guests in the main set. Now, is this going to be a standard legal card? Is this going to be legal and is this how they plan on bringing standard back? They're going to juice the power level of standard? I'm not sure. But good lord, seeing Mana Crypt here alongside of Lord of Atlantis is a timeline that I never thought I would see. Now, if special guests aren't standard legal, it's still a massive reprint, and it's going to do exactly what we talked about with something like Wilds of Eldraine. We see Wilds of Eldraine being such a fun set to open because of the fact that we have the Enchanting Tales, we have all the different enchantments that play in a parade of formats that people get an opportunity to add to their decks and get into their hands. And I think just like Strixhaven with the Mystical Archives, things like this are a great way to do crossover products and give us cool cards to keep us engaged with a set. And as you guys pop into chat, we'll take a pause here before we talk about the Mana Crypt art. I want to take a second, welcome some of you guys to the stream. We were saying, Ralph saying, use Mythic Spoilers, saying special guests aren't standard legal. Okay, and if that's confirmed, then that's probably a really good thing. That's probably a really good thing. I'm so glad I didn't waste money on Mana Crypt already. Listen, the reprint army is going to be out in full force with Mana Crypt coming as a special guest in this set. It's going to be another standard product. Now, that being said, we didn't see much when it comes to doubling season. Let's head over to TCG Player really quick and check the price of doubling season and see if it has changed much. Let's see, doubling season, and we'll just do a general search in Magic the Gathering. Let's pop over and just see how much we have actually seen changed. So scrolling through here, our doubling season, if we were to go price, let's sort price high to low. We do see obviously the confetti foil version popping off. Doubling season, the Judge promo like is a good card. Goose Hydra doubling season, just go doubling season. But the rest of doubling season didn't really come down all that much. We're still sitting around that $40 mark, and like, listen, that's a massive win. We're still sitting around $40. You can buy, you know, some as low as 37, probably down to 35 as things continue to go on. Although that's in Commander Masters, and the Commander Masters sales are peaking up a little bit. But this is what we're doing, and this is a fantastic way to do it. We have an affordable version of the card at $40. And again, on this channel, I will tell you till I'm blue in the face, cards must cost money. Like there's a collectible aspect to this game, and good cards are always going to be worth more than the bad cards. But there is the Super Baller Ultimate version that you can chase down for $160 if that's something that you find is something your style and something you want to do. So I like the versatility. I like what we're doing here. I think we're going to see something very similar with Mana Crypt. So Lost Caverns of Ixalan, pretty cool looking set. I like the theme. I know that some of you in chat are saying you're not a big fan of this land. I like this land. Ralph is talking about these 7 versions of Mana Crypt, and that is like legitimately weird. Are we looking at another Kamigawa Higatsugu Neon Ink situation? What are we looking at here with this 7 different versions? That's going to be a bit up in the air, but I really do think this is cool. And listen, having a Mana Crypt that you can put in your deck that kind of fits the theme, and maybe this is Wizards' way to try to convince you want more than one Mana Crypt, right? Because we talked about it through Commander Masters. Commander is a singleton format set. We want one copy of a card. I can swap it around in my decks as I see fit. Maybe this is their way of saying, hey, you got a blue deck? Play the blue Mana Crypt. You got a green deck? Play the green Mana Crypt, and so on and so forth. I know that there's going to be a different reason thematically as far as like the lore and the story and why the cards are this way, but maybe that's what they're trying to do here. You could let me know in chat. You could tell me that that's the story here. But it's time to talk about what really matters. It's time to talk about what really matters. And if you're in chat, you're going to find out what really matters. Jurassic Park was such a good movie. It is such a quotable movie. And if you are around on the channel, you can be prepared. Oh my gosh, you can be prepared for so many Jurassic Park clips spliced into videos, because there's just so many hilarious moments in this series. And because of that, I am so excited to get Ian Malcolm Chaotician. Ian Malcolm It is Chaos Theory Ian Malcolm, and his ability suits him. It says, whenever a player draws their second card each turn, that player exiles the top card of the library. During each player's turn, that player may cast a spell from among the cards they don't own, exiled with Ian Malcolm, Chaotician, and mana of any type can be spent to cast it. So you're just casting your opponent's freaking spells. Look at me. Look into my eyes. This is fun. It's really bright in the studio. That's going to be a ton of freaking fun. Honestly, I cannot wait. What a good theme for that card. I could not have thought of a better theme for Ian Malcolm as a card. This is a major flavor win. And of course he's is it. Of course he's is it. Again, Ralph was saying 7 versions of Mana Crypt kind of crazy. Scruffy, reprinting highly sought after commander staples is the best thing Wizards have done this year. And the fact that they're doing it in ways that are not Commander Masters, in normal sets that regular people can get their hands on, is a good thing. Ralph is saying it's neon ink. There's the base with the gray text boxes and neon for each MTG color. Then the one that has all 5 colors. Let's find the one that has all 5 colors. Oh, here we go. So that would be like this Cavern of Souls. Let's make sure I'm still. Here we go. Let's pop over. So the one with all 5 colors, like this Cavern of Souls seems to have all 5 colors in it. So that one's going to be extremely rare. And then we have the Mana Crypt. So right here. We're right here that has all 5 colors. I see what we're doing. Okay, I see you, Wizards. Listen, that's not my style. Personally, it's not my style. I'm excited to see what people think of it and if it's something that people like looking into and like collecting, because that's what really matters, right? You have to like collecting this stuff. You have to want to get your hands on it. Otherwise, it just doesn't make any sense. Cedar was playing Commander yesterday, and a guy beat me on the table turn 5 with a bad draw with his 1K plus deck. 2 of us were playing 20 and one with $100. It just made me a bit upset. Listen, that's valid, but that's what the power level discussion is all about. What is that? Like the discussion, like, hey, this deck is a 1 power level. This is a 2 power level. This is a 10 power level. It's CEDH. I think I can encourage you and your community to have that conversation. I think instead, like, that would be very upsetting. And that is a totally valid feeling. But I think next time maybe go into it with like, hey, this is what my deck kind of does, and this is its power level. Where are you at on that same power level spectrum? And is this just going to be a blowout? And if it is, maybe y'all just gang up on the person for being that way. We have Blaze saying, is one of them purple or am I colorblind? Purple, I believe, represents it would be swamp. It would be like the we got white, blue, black, green, red. Purple would represent like the swamp, the black color. And I'm very excited for Caverns, but I'll definitely have to save up. Devin, what is up, homies? Ralph and Blaze just like hooking up and linking up in the chat. Matthew, Mana Crypt is engaging. The engaging meme continues on this channel. And listen, if someone can come up with a better phrase than engaging for me to talk about, purple is for the Magic Historian. Let's go. All right, let's not bury the lead any further. We are getting Lord of the Rings Holiday Edition. Holiday Special Baller Edition Lord of the Rings. And most importantly, with that release, we are getting Bill the Pony. If we weren't getting Bill the Pony with this release, I can tell you, I would have been upset. I would have been peeved. I would have been perturbed. But we were getting Bill the freaking Pony with the new Lord of the Rings release. But again, not bearing the lead too much further, we are getting some amazing staples. We're getting Orcish Bowmasters. We know we're getting the ring. Those who are speculating about the collectability of the Nazgul, those who are speculating about the collectability of some of these things coming back, can rest easy. The Nazgul are coming in a seemingly more collectible frame, I guess, than ever before. And we are going to get, what is it, all 9, right? 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. Yep, all 9 Nazgul. So they're not okie dokiing us. There's no trick going on. Jurassic Park, you guys are saying 52% are saying yes, it's a good way to use Universe Beyond. 47% are saying no. That is a very close poll. I gotta be honest with you, I did not see that result coming. C says definitely should have brought up power discussion, but we were pressed for time. Still had fun. Like, listen, that's what's important. As long as you had fun, that's what's important. So we see some cards here for Lord of the Rings, and most importantly, I mean, like, listen, if we're gonna talk cards that are being reprinted for Lord of the Rings, and what's important for us to get a reprint, it's a good thing we're getting Orcish Bowmasters. Orcish Bowmasters on the secondary market right now is a bit insane. In fact, let's pop over here and let's see if we can find. Let's see if we can find Orcish Bowmasters and Magic together. Like, listen, the cheapest copy is running you around 40 bucks, a little bit more. So the fact that we're getting more Orcish Bowmasters is not a loss. And for anyone who's like, oh, that's just a terrible plan, what are we doing? Like, why are we reprinting this? Like, this is a card from a set that came out not long ago that's supposed to be a staple of a year. The fact that they're reprinting a $30 base level card in a more collectible treatment is totally fine. Like, this is a good use of a reprint. I know it came sooner, but also it is my theory. It is where I live in space in my head that we are going to get more Lord of the Rings draft and set booster boxes, as well as possibly Commander. But the regular Lord of the Rings product is going to come out, be on shelves again, and I believe it's going to keep coming out over the course of however long the license is available. Now, there's another Lord of the Rings product to talk about in the spoilers today, but everyone is saying, oh, these cards are crazy expensive. Like, they're going to core set the bejesus out of things. They're not going to take the most popular Magic set ever printed and decide, like, we're done printing it. Like, that is not happening. And speaking of things that have not happened, is we have not started our membership goal for this week until today. We look to add 3 members to the channel membership every week. You see a couple channel members in chat with the green names and icon. They get access to exclusive videos. They get custom channel badges, custom emotes, and they get access to all of my sales data as I track sales of sealed product on TCG Player. There's a pinned comment in wherever you have your chat based on your configuration. It's $5 a month. That's all it takes. You get 1 exclusive video minimum per week and access to all of my posts and data and a bunch of other fun things. And listen, it helps support the channel and it helps build a second streaming setup. So big shout out, big time shout out to all the channel members. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. It's time to look at more Lord of the Rings spoilers. And Orcish Bowmasters, to me, is definitely like the big one as far as like cards coming back. I know we're going to get into the One Ring as well, but Orcish Bowmasters is a big. So you see got Dawn of a New Age and Tom Bombadil, and we talked about this on Friday Morning Magic last week. We had a long conversation about these cards and these frames on Friday Morning Magic, and I must say, I have to say, I'm not a big fan of the art. It's not something that I like to see. It's not something that evokes any kind of emotion in me. I'm not big on these treatments. It's not something that I like, and I think the reason is, like, I am Magic Boomer. I am Magic Old Man in his basement making YouTube videos, and these cards are hard for me to read. It's hard for me to follow what's going on, and I know it's not meant to be a card that's read. It's meant to be a piece of art. Like, I get it, but I'd like the card to be legible as well, and so because of that, like, listen, I could be into the rock poster theme of things or the old VHS music video cassette tapes and stuff, but I want to be able to read it. Listen, I like vintage stuff. I get some of the backgrounds of my videos that I shoot over on that side of the office. I got a sealed box of Windows 98 in the corner. Like, we got stuff. We like sealed stuff, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan. So, moving into the holiday boosters, we see some of the cards. I believe we already saw some of this stuff. We see Commander. So Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth Commander. We know there's a collector booster box re-release or a remastering of the collector booster box special edition, whatever it might be. And we're seeing some of these cards come out. And again, I actually am a big fan of this art on Lord of the Rings style cards. Like, I think this is a win. I like this right now. This is big good. And we're getting Paths of the Dead serialized. Now, this is the big news. This is the big, I guess, kit and caboodle, the big problem, the big thought on everyone's mind. The fact that we are getting the Realms and Relics line of cards reprinted in a new way. We're getting them reprinted just recently. They were down to like a 2% pull rate, and there was a very famous tweet that came out this weekend saying they're going to be up to around 12%, and this is a massive miss for that line of cards, and that could be possible. So let's take a second and let's kind of touch on that, because as someone who, when they like a lot of things from Wizards of the Coast, I say so, I'm a bit confused by this, and I don't necessarily like it outside of the serialized versions. Listen, I thought serialized versions of the Realms and Relics, iconic cards specific to Lord of the Rings, living in that IP, serialized versions of those cards it's a cool little touch. I like that. But reprinting those cards in any kind of regular treatment, right, where they can be re-pulled out of the booster box and lessen the value of the original print one of cards that we bought that box and maintained some kind of special value to us in that box is not a win. That's not something that should have been done. I think, in my opinion, that's a miss. That's not something I'm for. But what do you guys think? I mean, is it something that you guys are all about? Is it a good thing in your eyes? Is it a bad thing in your eyes? What do you think? And I will pop over and check out the chat really quick. DJSK said, finally cheap Caverns. I think you are feeling the same way a lot of people are feeling, DJ. Ralph says, I'm not a fan of the trippy art cards. Ralph, I agree. Like, listen, I respect the art style. I respect what it's doing. It's just not for me. Matt says, it's when they play Commander, we can lie about the abilities. Oh, man. The Commander stories on this stream already are a bit intense. Rob said, I'm a player and legibility is important to me, so hard pass on those. Yeah, and like, as long as we respect that they're art pieces, I understand. Blaze, someone will like them. Good for them. Scruffy, I like my Magic cards to look like Magic cards. Call me old-fashioned. I wish I had it. I used to do an example. And I had my binder, and I would pull it up, and I'd open up my binder, and I'd say I had a Disintegrate. I think it was a Beta Disintegrate and a Phoenix from, I think it was either Zendikar Rising or it might have been Zendikar Rising or no. Oh my gosh, Ikoria. I had a Phoenix from Ikoria and a Beta Disintegrate, and I'd hold them up next to each other and be like, these two cards are part of the same game. That's just wild to me. Like, that thought experiment, putting those two cards next to one another and making them part of the same game, is something I frankly couldn't understand. So the cereal box cards, though, are probably my least favorite treatment. Like, listen, I could get into that. Blaze said they look like D&D cards. Yeah, listen, we I think the stream's in pretty good agreement here. Scruff said, you're old-fashioned, but you're not entirely wrong. Ralph said, I think the oddball arch should remain in secret layer. Mainline product should have a standard to follow. Ken says, what's a Zendikar? It's a Zendikar, my friend. And the idea of the standard product having a nice flow to it is something that we used to be is something that I think we took for granted before. But now looking at kind of some of the stuff we're looking at, even if we talk about Ixalan, right? And the Lost Cavern of Ixalan is going to be a standard product release. It's going to be a standard set that hits stores. It's going to get into hands and be affordable. Like, this product is going to have a weird bit of a flow. Like, we have traditional looking Magic cards. We have insane looking lands. We have alternate versions of those traditional looking Magic cards that look in a, I don't know. I'm not really sure. I know that these are like Aztecian Mayan temples, like old ruins, carvings in the caverns. I get that, but it just seems like there's a lot. We remain with, to this day, too many variants, too many treatments. That criticism, in my opinion, is not only fair but valid, and it does break up a little bit of like the pack opening going through things. I mean, heck, I have it right here, and I've used it as an example in a couple recent videos, but one of my favorite sets, Streets of New Capenna, like, if this just stayed a little bit more on theme, which I think it does better than something like some of the new stuff, I think it would have been a better opening experience. And again, that's just my opinion. What does my opinion count for? Cheers to each and every one of you hanging out in YouTube world. Hanging out, thank you so much. Blaze says, Legend of the Hidden Temple universe is beyond. Oh my god. Be honest. Be honest, Chad. Legends of the Hidden Temple. Be honest. This is a time for honesty and self-reflection. How many of you are crushing Legends of the Hidden Temple? How many of you are taking the challenges of Legend of the Hidden Temple and like never missing a beat and getting everything right 100% of the time? Let's see if we can pull up Legends of the Hidden Temple.
While in Tahiti.
Here we go. How many of you guys just beaten the tiki head guy?
Incorrect. The natives of Tahiti are called Polynesians.
Blue barracudas.
Polynesians.
That is not one of our choices.
How many of you guys are crushing Legend of the Hidden Temple challenges? Because I know, like, listen, I'm not. I'm not crushing Legends of the Hidden Temple challenges. All right, so you got more Lord of the Rings stuff. I like the fact that there's some theme in here. Bill the Pony being in here is just super fun. So, Team Blue Barracuda, listen, if we're going to start declaring team allegiances, this stream is going to get rough. This stream is going to get rough. So we have the holiday booster, some of the spoilers, and then we have something I'm actually excited for. And I know I'm not supposed to be excited for this thing. Listen, I understand that I'm not supposed to be excited for this. I understand we get a remastered set all the time, and it comes out, and it's hype, and goes down in value, and nobody wants the reprints, but poo-hoo, I'm excited for Ravnica Remastered. And the reason is, I was playing... Like, when Ravnica dropped, I was playing Standard, I was playing on my LGS almost every single day. What a win! Like, the first time you saw a Shockland, it was like, what is happening here? And then we were all bad Magic players, so the thought was like, is this card even good? Like, Ravnica Remastered it speaks to me. That's the way we're going to look at it, is it speaks to me, and I'm excited for it. Do I think we need reprints of any of these cards? No, but it's going to be a really cool limited play experience. It's going to be something that I think people go out to the game store to enjoy and maybe relive a little bit of that Ravnica love, you know, a little bit of that time in Magic's history. I don't know as far as secondary value. Like, listen, it's got another Birds of Paradise, it's got another Krenko, which, by the way, my big complaint for the last Krenko that we just got, I believe it was Commander Masters. Did we just get a Krenko in Commander Masters? We get something. We get the same thing all the time, it seems like. But they didn't change the art. Like, maybe it makes more sense for the remastered set because it's supposed to look like the old Ravnica stuff, but use the same art there. But, like, we didn't change the art in between. Niv Mizzet, we not changing the art. And, like it's a thing. Like, listen, this is a thing. It could be done. Fibblethip. I get to say Fibblethip on stream a bunch, so this is going to be a win. But this is where I'm excited. We're going to get Shocklands. And I would be, you know, let's just say the smart money, in my opinion, is on Shocklands coming out in an old border treatment. And I got to tell you, I got to take this very seriously. I'd be pretty excited for old border Shocklands. It'd be really, I got a stack of 3 modern decks across the office. It'd be really hard if they were a decent price not to replace all of those Shocklands with old border Shocklands. Like, that would be tough to do. Scruffy Looking Sick Gaming said, Nightmares or there's Temple Guardians. Ravnica's the #1 fan favorite plane. It's got to be. I hope they don't plan on selling this art the same value of Dominators Remastered. Here's the problem. I didn't think this was going to pop off the way it did and be as successful and people love it as much. Oh man, oh me, oh my. I was surprised. I don't want to be surprised in the wrong way. I think Ravnica is an amazing plane. Ralph says they are coming in retro border. You love to see it. Here's some of the retro border stuff. And in fairness, the retro border stuff that Wizards of the Coast does, when they started to bring this back, it's good art. See, Ralph, if I would have just kept looking. Ralph, listen, if I learned to continue reading. Breaking Badlands, first of all, never seen you in the stream. Welcome to the stream. Breaking Badlands says Project Booster Fund equals Ian Malcolm's explanation of chaos theory. Breaking Badlands, I've never seen you in the stream, but you fit right in on this channel. Welcome to the freaking stream. I love that comment. Let's go. You fit right in. So what I was saying is I do believe they do a good job of this retro border stuff. They're pretty cards. They're cards I enjoy seeing. Every time I open something in a retro border, even if it's not expensive, I like the card. In fact, one of my major purchases, I should keep my decks within arm's reach, were original foil, or the oldest opt you could get in foil. So original foil opts. And that's, like, it's a retro card. That blue shines so nice. I think the same thing happened with the Force of Will out of Dominaria Remastered. Like, I like retro border cards. I think this is a big win, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think it's cool, too, we're getting the whole run, right? We're not getting kind of a partial run. We're getting the full run. So moving down, and this is where things get a bit confusing. This is where things get a bit weird, because I understand, and this is, we talked earlier about the flow of opening packs and the theme, and like, how it feels to engage with a Magic product, and there it is. If Engage was on your hometown TCG drinking game, sip up, this is going to be a weird pack opening experience, right? Because of these new borderless variants alongside the retro border cards it's gonna feel like a mess. It's gonna feel like a mess. Like a remastered set. Not to be like, and this isn't Magic Boomer. Like, Times Square Remastered isn't even that old. But a remastered set should have that feel of old Magic, that consistency, that flow in remastered set should be a priority. Even if, and it doesn't have to be in modern Magic sets. It doesn't have to be in Lost Caverns of Ixalan. It doesn't have to be in Dominaria United even. It just should be in sets like this. And the fact that we're not getting it here is a bit annoying. And again, some of this new art, this doesn't do it for me. This, doing it for me. The little graveyard symbol on Arclight Phoenix letting you know that this card is interacted with in some way, shape, or form in the graveyard, doing it for me. This, respect that it speaks to some people, I'm not one of those people. So this is overall, it's a lot of news coming out. I think it's a lot of good news. There's some things that isn't, not necessarily my favorite thing, but I still think there's a lot to really chew on and love here. And Ralph told us check out Mythic Spoiler. So we're going to head over there and see what some more news is. Mythic Spoilers just giving us Wilds of Eldraine. Ooh, we got more for Lost Caverns of Ixalan over at Mythic Spoiler. We got the special guest. We got the treasure trove. I'm just making sure before I... Does Mythic Spoiler... Okay. All right, here we go. We'll pop over to Mythic Spoiler and check some of this out. /newspoilers.html. Ralph, I'm trusting you right now. Is it newspoilers? Okay, here we go. Oh, okay. No, I appreciate you. All right, let's check it out. We're on Mythic Spoiler, and this is going to have courtesy of Ralph, the channel member. If you want to join Ralph in the channel membership, the comment is pinned at in your chat somewhere. It's only $5 a month. You get a bunch of exclusive stuff. And like, hey, ask the channel members in the chat if they think it's worth it. And the support goes a long way for a small channel like mine. So here we go. Ixalan, and let's see. Oh, we're going to have to do a little rebalance. This site's going to be a little bit different than the last thing we were used to. So Secret Lair, the Evil Dead. I'm going to admit something that might ruin people's any kind of enjoyment that they get on this channel. I'm not a big Evil Dead person. Like, I have nothing against the Evil Dead. I got nothing against it. I'm just not a massive fan. But we do have the Pure Steel Paladin Zombie Apocalypse. Field of the Dead getting another reprint. We got the Lich Queen. And like, nothing in there. Pure Steel Paladin is definitely the big win here. That's the big hit the nail on the head. And the zombie token, cool tokens like this, I'm down for. I'm down for cool tokens like this. I have, as I'm completing my player rewards promo set, where's my bird token? I have a sweet bird token, and I misplaced it. I have sweet bird tokens around here from the original player reward series. So I like cool tokens like this. But Secret Lair, the Princess Bride. Now, I had a wonderful conversation with the homie. For those who don't know, the YouTube channel Kitchen Table TCG is run by a good friend of mine named Louie. If you haven't checked them out, make sure you check out Kitchen Table TCG before you hop off the internet for the day. I think he's an extremely fun Magic content creator. And listen, I like the guy. He's a good friend. But we had a long conversation about the Princess Bride. And about, like, oh my god, is this going to be a Princess Bride set? Universes Beyond has gone too far. Well, if it's a Secret Lair, it's fine. It's not a big deal. However, it's something that I think is going to be really niche. I know The Princess Bride's a massive movie. I know that people love it. I know there's probably a lot of crossover with Magic, but it does feel very niche. So let's take out... We do have Wesley. So we got the entire run of main characters. I think that I have to buy Andre the Giant's card. I think I have to buy the Giant card just because I can't imagine a scenario where I get away with not buying that card. Some of the art here, in its defense, is very good. Like, some of the art is very good. Miracle Max Unemployed. And then Silence is good. And then Battle of Wits. The fact that Battle of Wits is in here in this art, this is cool. And again, I think it's niche. I think it's something that it misses for me, but I think it'll work out just fine. I wouldn't expect it to sell any crazy numbers, but I think it'll be just fine. Scruffy Looking Gaming says, Josh, do you player rewards cryptic commands? Well, my friend, I must inform you. Hold on. I regret to inform you that my supervisor has issued me player rewards cryptic commands already, my friend. I'm sorry. We cannot work out a trade at this moment because I have my cryptic commands. All right, a couple more spoilers to look at before we get on out of here for the day. Secret Lair Creep Show. Now, again, this is another art style that doesn't necessarily speak to me. However, I like this way more than I like the old or the rock concert posters or the VHS posters. I like these far more. These are more in line with like the cereal box style of cards because I can follow along with what's happening here. I'm not just lost in the sauce when it comes to looking at this card. Just doing the comparison with some of the other stuff, I'm so lost in the sauce when it comes to looking at some of that art that this is at least, and maybe it's the comic book style paneling, maybe it's the comic book cover art and things like that, but it's something that flows a little bit nicer. I'm able to follow it a little more, and my old man brain is more susceptible to agreeing with this than it is something else. That being said, still a bit of a miss for me. Secret Lair Weeping Angels, this is a cool little subset. Like, it's full of a bunch of cool cards. I like angelic theme things. Anytime we do, and I know this is part of like the spooky drop. I know it's supposed to be Halloween and spooky and scary themed, but you know, the secret layers that are tribal or typal, I think it's typal now, whatever it is, that kind of flow like that and are all printed in the same vein, I think are a good product, and I think that's a massive win. But the Dalek lands. So it enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or fewer other lands. So the fast lands being reprinted, I think this is cool. Any land Secret Lair, I'm in on personally. I wish we would have got, again, maybe I'm just growing out of borderless cards. Maybe it's shifting me. Maybe I'm looking for something a bit different. But the art initially, maybe I'd want to hold one and see one, but I'd have to see. But here we go. Secret Lair Pixel Lands. This is cool. This is niche. All right, hold on. Let's be fair. I'm about to say, I said a lot of things weren't for me. In fairness, this is for me. However, I respect a couple flaws. This is niche, right? Like, we talked about things being niche. This is about as niche as it gets. This speaks to a very specific person, and this is something I enjoy. And like, the only problem with things like this is you got to buy so many if you want to use them as lands in your modern deck or even your pioneer deck. Don't even talk to me about your commander deck. There's too many basics. There's Zeus. What is going on? Blaze says, wait, Weeping Angels. I'm interested. Ralph talking about the new spoilers. Okay, new spoilers sorts by release date, so you can go home and pick by expiration date. I think the base homepage is focused on Ixalan at the moment, but there's a drop down. They dumped a whole load of Secret Lair stuff on MagicCon this morning. Ralph, this is proving to be an awesome little URL to go to. Orniter, what is up? Thank you, the Pixel Land love coming out in chat, and you love to see. You know what? We normally cheers the coffee on Saturday evening. We'll cheers the brew for the Pixel Land and the love of the Pixel Land. I think this is cool. Will I buy enough of them to start putting these in decks? That's yet to be seen. Let's take a look at what the price ends up being. Secret Lair, the artist-based lands. Listen, artist-based products are wins. I like artist-based products. Art is not something that I claim to be an expert of, but like, look at some of this product and look at the theme it's done and look at the kind of the style that you see these, and you can't tell me like you don't like that island. Like, that's a pretty island. That is a pretty freaking copy of Island. The problem is, like, you just need a million of them. The spooky drop is October 2nd, shouted out by Ralph. Thank you, Ralph the Gnome. Always hooking the channel up. Thank you so much. Now we are into the Lost Caverns of Ixalan, and this is where I want to kind of flow through and get to Jurassic World, because we talked about Dr. Ian Malcolm, but we didn't talk about some of the other themes going on here, and this is another win here with the rest of the cards. The Indominus Rex Alpha from the newer run of Jurassic Park movies. Again, I think this is going to be a cool card to have. This is something I'm going to consider collecting a set of. And I don't normally do that. I am not a set collector. I don't claim to be a set collector. This might be a set that I consider collecting a set of, because the movies are iconic. Both my brother and myself love the films. I actually read the books because he pointed me in those directions. I know I was a person who watched Jurassic Park, the movies, and didn't read the books. How dare I? I feel like that's most people. I got ostracized for it, but I feel like it's most people. The special guest cards, Lord of Atlantis and Mana Crypt. Again, we took a look at those, and we did talk about the Mana Crypt. We're seeing the 5 magic colors, the gray, and then the one that represents all 5 colors. I believe that was Ralph that shouted that out in chat, so big ups. But if it was someone else, let me know. I'm sorry. The Indominus is OPAF. Sushu, if you want to read the Indominus real quick. As Indominus Rex enters the battlefield, discard any number of creature cards. It enters with a flying counter. If that card discarded this way has flying. The same is true for first strike, double strike. Oh, okay. So it consumes and absorbs the abilities of the creature sacrificed during its creation. When Indominus Rex enters the battlefield, draw a card for each counter. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. And they replace themselves? Okay. All right, I didn't think they were going to replace themselves, but that's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. I got to tell you, that's nuts. All right, we looked at the special guest, the Treasure Trove. I don't know what the Treasure Trove means. More on this later. I don't want to speak on something that I don't know what it means. But the Coercive Portal, Will of the Council. At the beginning of your upkeep, starting with you, each player votes for Carnage or Homage. If the Carnage gets more votes, sacrifice it and destroy all non-land permanents. If Homage gets more votes, the vote is tied. Draw a card. Oh. More commander stuff. Nice. Here we go. We see the Mana Crypts that we were just talking about, and the Cavern of Souls, I think, following along in the same vein. The Secret Lair PulseCon 2023. This is... I saw the Karn earlier, and, like, all of this stuff is hilarious. Like, if this was my jam, this would be very funny. What's this lightning bolt doing here? What is this lightning bolt doing here? What is this lightning bolt doing here? Ornator doesn't like the Cavern of Souls. There will be a regular Cavern of Souls that you can get your hand on if you're not a fan of the Neon Ink ones. So, what is it? It's just a random, like, oh, you know what? Here's another lightning bolt. I'm glad we got down here. Before we end the stream, I'm glad we got down here, because this is the big talk of the town. The One Ring. Seeing a reprint is great because it is so expensive. In fact, we looked at TCG Player earlier for other cards. Which, by the way, do they have the One Ring that Post Malone bought on here yet? Do you think that'll ever show up? This card, in its cheapest version, is hidden behind our chat right here, but it's $32. Like, this is an expensive Magic the Gathering card. Modern needs 4 of them. You need a lot of copies of this card. So seeing this card reprinted, not bad. This art style, we just talked about this. This art style for Magic the Gathering cards, I love this art style. And it fits on the One Ring so well. We see that this seems to be a base version of the Ring reprint, because if we note, the Ring got more and more detailed based on the higher the print version over here. So as we went up, we started to get some of the gold text, and we know the crazy One Ring that saw the full-fledged reprint was just insane. So maybe this is a base version, maybe it's not, but it's something really cool to think about, Riders of the Mark. So then we'll get into the scene boxes. We already did a whole YouTube video on the scene boxes. So, like, listen, overall, a lot of cool stuff being talked about. This is that style that, you know, listen, it doesn't speak to me. A lot of cool stuff being talked about. I think this was a lot of fun. The art card is $25. Yeah, everything about the One Ring is a bit bonkers right now. So seeing it come back in the holiday release, I think that could be considered a pretty good win. This is a lot of news, and a lot of it is based around like reprints and Commander and re-pulling in the casual play community and keeping us up with the sets and keeping us moving on from Commander Masters and things like that. And we could have expected that to be the case. But I think there's a lot of cool flavor wins in here. Even the flavor wins that I wasn't necessarily a fan of from certain secret layers. Even the fact that, you know, we talked about, and it was Ornator talked about the Cavern of Souls not being their jam and maybe not being the art style that you seek or you want to find. I think there's still a lot of wins in the product announcements that happened today and in I guess over the weekend. I do think that there's a push to get a lot of cool stuff into our hands very quickly, right? Between the One Ring, between Mana Crypt, we're getting Lord of Atlantis, which is going to be a fan favorite for sure. I think there's a push to get a lot of cool stuff in our hand. Cavern of Souls, pushing to get cool stuff in our hands, and maybe not as much experimentation. And we kind of could have seen that coming, right? With the whole theory and the whole like Q3 message on the channel is the idea of trading card games like changing, right? It's no longer going to be like I open my Streets of New Capenna booster box, I open my Fusion Strike booster box, and like how much money do I pull out of it? It's going to be about, you know, playing the game and engaging with your friends and exploring new ways to use your game pieces. I think they're trying to get like a last ditch effort and be like, no, still look, there's value, but that time is changing. And Wizards of the Coast, they're not going to want to change very quickly. I believe we're going to see, and this is just my opinion, if you stuck around the stream this long and you're not subscribed, first of all, make sure you click sub. Second of all, consider spending $5 on the channel membership. It helps support the channel a lot. Third of all, you get a little special nugget here. It's my opinion that I think we're going to see Wizards of the Coast push harder before relenting and letting up. And I don't think they're not going to do it by choice, right? Wizards of the Coast doesn't like relent and let up because they want to bring Magic back to something that we want it to be or something that we romanticize. They let up because the trading card game world is going to be different. Like, it's going to go back to not being a hobby where you're all in all the time, always engaged. It's going to go back to being a hobby that you play, you know, one night a week, a couple nights a week with friends. And that's an okay place for the trading card game space. But Magic can't release 14 sets and 28 secret layers over the year if people choose to play the game or, gosh darn it, engage with the product in that way, right? That's going to change how that ecosystem must live. And I think we're going to see a push to keep things as it is very hard before we see Wizards of the Coast relent. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion on the matter. I want to take a second. I want to catch up with some of you guys in chat. If you have thoughts about what these design choices mean to the future of Magic, what it means to you personally, what it means to your friend group, anything like that, let me know in the chat right now. And if you are a new chatter, if I haven't seen your name in chat before, I'll be sure to shout you out because it does seem like we've got a couple brand new people in here, and that's always a good time. I can't believe we're up to near 30 viewers on a random live stream. What a great, this is the best community. Like, frankly, it's not close. Ralph says you buy a Nerf gun to get 2. Let's see if this works. Oh, are we talking about the lightning bolt in the Pulse secret layer? That does seem to be random. Didn't think a URL would go through. Hasbro Pulse, chibi-looking planeswalkers, the Nerf gun lightning bolts that came out on Friday. Orner says, yeah, I really think the investment side of things is on its last legs. Now, Ornator, let me get through some chat messages. I think there's a lot to touch on there. Jason says, Wilds of Overdrain didn't do it for me, but these upcoming releases of Ixalan, they may have to go all in. And that's a great thing that you're identifying, hey, I like this, I don't like this. And that's a problem with standard missing, right? It's a problem with us missing standard as a format, because then we feel like I feel safer engaging with Ixalan, with Wilds of Eldraine, with Brothers War, because hey, even if it doesn't sit well with me and I don't want to put it in my binder, I still want to play the cards, right? Like, we can agree, whether you like a set or don't like a set, there's cards that you'd like to play out of that set that like you'd like to put on a table on cardboard and just kind of see what happens. And I think, you know, standard coming back, and if there's any kind of push for that, which I've done a number of videos that never do well. They always sit around like 1,000, 1,500 views about like what we need to do to bring standard back or plans that I think could happen. But Anyway, we're off on a standard rent now, but I see what you're saying, and I can 100% respect that, Jason. And also, I don't know if I've seen your name in the chat before. That one's a bit iffy, but if I haven't, freaking welcome, Jason. Welcome. Order just says buy in a year, Jason will be half the price. You don't know that. You can't possibly know that. Jason, he can't possibly know that. Rob said it's always fun hanging out. Rob, it is always a good time hanging out with you as well. I wish, and this is why we started, another reason we started the channel membership and all that stuff, is we're looking to build a second camera, because right now at the end of this stream, I have this collector booster box just sitting here. If I had a second camera, I don't have to change the setup to do a box opening. I could just flip to the second cam, and we could be off and running. So as we approach the ability to buy that second camera, right now we would be able to flip to a second booster box and we could open it up on the channel right now, but I can't move the whole setup, and frankly, like, I don't know, it's not a fun or a crazy set to open. It's my favorite. But if you guys have hung out in the chat this far, thank you so much for hanging out. Give me a see you later. Give me a nice goodbye in chat. I hope you had some fun looking into some of the stuff for Magic the Gathering. I hope you enjoyed yourself as much as I did, and frankly, some of this stuff is really exciting, and I can't wait for it. If you're a channel member and you were in chat tonight, thank you so much. If you have any questions about the channel membership, you know, is it feeling fun? Is it a fun community to be a part of? Make sure you ask an existing channel member. If not, consider clicking that link. Like, it's $5 a month to support the channel. You get a bunch of extra content and things like that. And listen, I really appreciate, I think we're building a cool community. And I have a poll to go out for channel members. I might kind of try to find a way for all of the channel members that are joining so quickly to maybe have a community of our own where we can constantly chat and ask questions and maybe suggest things you want to hear us talk about. So we'll make sure to do that. But let's kind of close out in chat here. Rob, have a good night. Rob, you are in freaking every stream. Rob is amazing. Ralph says love the channel, isn't constant doom and gloom. I will work on it. I will do my best to bring back the doom and gloom, Ralph. Blaze said have a great night. Remember to sleeve your deck before it goes in a box. Blaze, another, always hanging out in the chat, always checking out the videos. Shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Until next time, you guys know me. My name is Josh, and well, we'll see you around. Seuss, Sandro, welcome back to the stream. Good night, everybody. You guys are saying good night as I'm saying goodbye, and I gotta shout out the people that I know are OGs and always hanging out. Welcome, welcome, and have a good one. Good night, everyone.